Hi everyone, this is Ryan Reagan, the founding partner of HKExcel. So welcome to the second episode of the IB Student Show. So on this episode, we're going to answer a really interesting question that I think you want an answer to as well, which is how should IB students choose their university and their major, right? So no matter you're a final year IB student or your first year or you're going to IB soon, you need to be thinking about this, right? Because where you go for university and what you study in university is going to make a huge difference. And now you need to decide like what kind of IB subjects you take to fulfill those university requirements. Okay, so I believe there are two main considerations when you choose your university major. First, from a practical standpoint, and second, from a passion standpoint. So let's go from the practical standpoint first. Okay, which is, so I believe what's the best major to choose? Basically, you need to look at some statistics. Okay. So let's look at some real data. So this is some data published by HKU. This is from 2016, right? So basically what they found is the median salary of different majors. Okay, so the highest, which major makes the most money after graduating is dentistry, 50,000 Hong Kong dollars, right? The second is medicine, and the third is education. How about the least amount of money is for the Bachelor of Arts, which is basically the languages and science, okay? So I think the pattern is pretty clear. The pattern is that professional degrees tend to earn a higher salary. Professional degrees meaning like after you study, you can directly apply it on your job. Like for example, after you study dentistry, you become a dentist. After you study medicine, you become a doctor. After you study law, you become a lawyer, and so on, right? So, and one surprising thing is that a lot of students may think that if you study business or economics after at university, you can earn a lot after graduation, but that's actually not true. Okay, you can see here, business and economics, they make only around 15,000 to 16,000 Hong Kong dollars, which is like one of the lowest here, right? And I used to be an business and economics student myself. I can tell you why. The reason is because the real high-paying jobs in business and economics, like investment banking and so on, those jobs are very limited in number. To get into an investment bank is harder than getting into Harvard. It's the truth. Because in investment bank, a lot of times they only take only one out of a few hundred people actually get accepted, right? So the chances that you actually get accepted in an investment bank is very low, lower than Harvard. So, and the other thing is that there's a lot of students who study business and economics, so there's a huge supply of students, but then there are only that many high-paying jobs. There are very few high-paying jobs in banking and business. So this is the reason why I believe why business and economics majors are actually quite unimpressive when it comes to median salary. So let's look at another study by PolyU. Okay, I think the findings are actually quite similar. So again, they have discovered the median salary for different majors. So what's the highest? It's nursing and optometry. I'm not sure what that is. I think after you study that, you become an eye doctor or something, right? So the pattern again is that if you study professional degrees, you earn a higher salary. For example, you can see here like electrical engineering, the salary is pretty high, right? And construction is pretty high salary, 19,000 compared to the others, right? And then you see here like biology and chemistry, 14,000. It's much lower, right? How about business? Business is not very high as well, like just 15,000, right? So it's clear that the professional degrees earn more, and business is not a professional degree. If you want to pick university from a practical standpoint, then you can actually look at studies published by the university, because they often have these salary reports of their graduates. Okay, I'll give you an example. For HKU in 2017, the average monthly salary of an HKU graduate, HKU is the top university in Hong Kong, it's $24,000 approximately. How about for PolyU? So PolyU is not as prestigious as Hong Kong U, right? And the average salary is 19,000. So it's like a 20% difference between Hong Kong U and PolyU. It's quite significant, right? So the point I'm trying to make to you is, if you're trying to pick university from a practical standpoint, if you want to pick the highest paying university, then there's a lot of data you can look at, okay? So you can search, like for example, if you want to think, oh, should I study in HKU or should I study in, for example, CU, HK, or Stanford, you can look at these data that they publish. So which graduates make more money, right? Now, I'm not telling you how to think, because using a practical standpoint to pick university, just looking at the money, like it's not for everyone, right? So this is one way to look at it, but I think there's another way to look at it. Figures I showed you just now, or you can find online, those are just statistics. They are averages, right? But in reality, there are a lot of outliers in this world. What do I mean by that? Like, for example, just now I said that science majors tend to earn the least, right? Or art major tends to earn the least. But there can be very, very successful art majors, right? Like it's just an average, okay? So from my observation, the people who are truly successful in this world, like the most successful people, Steve Jobs, Bill Gates, Warren Buffett, these sorts of people, the way they become so successful is by following their passion. That's the truth. Like they find what they really love to do and they do it extremely well, and coincidentally what they do extremely well is very valuable to the world, right? They can make something that's very valuable to the world, and that's how they become successful. So it really has very little to do with your major, right? So for example, Li Ka-shing, the richest man in Hong Kong, he didn't even graduate from primary school. Like he doesn't have university education. Elon Musk, he studied economics and physics in university. So these majors tend to earn very little, right? As we've seen in the statistics just now. But Elon Musk, one of the most successful entrepreneurs out there, he studied these, right? And then Steve Jobs and Bill Gates, they did not even do university, okay? Like they dropped out, right? Warren Buffett studied business in university, right? So the point I'm trying to make is that if you're very risk averse, if you just want to follow a path that people have drawn out, if you like following orders, then probably you should pick your major from a practical standpoint, right? Like, so for example, if you want to save life, then you can try to apply for dentistry, right? Because if you become a dentist, you're almost guaranteed a pretty decent life, right? But then that's not necessarily for everyone. Like if you feel like you have a talent, if you feel like you have a special passion and you can really make a huge difference in this world with your creativity, then I would say you can just follow your passion when it comes to university. Like you can study arts and then you can somehow use your creativity to really make a difference to this world and become very successful, right? So I hope you find this video useful. I gave you two perspectives. So just think which is more suitable for you, and then hope you find this useful, and see you next time.